What's going on, winners and losers? Today we are looking at the 10 most stressful things gamers do for fun. It's a game ranks video. I will obviously leave a link in the description. If you like content like this, do not hit the blah 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 blah. Do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I will. I'm gonna post about it somewhere like like here or something, maybe like this area. Yeah, like here. Anyways, hit that like and subscribe for more content. Either way, let's do this. Game ranks, 10 most stressful things gamers do for fun. Let's get into it.
Games are supposed to be fun, and fun can be different for different people. One man's trash is another's treasure. One man's nerve-wracking and stressful thing to do is another's day out, I guess. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on Game Ranks, 10 of the most stressful things gamers do for fun.
That's a good way to show
10,
stress.
have you ever played those trucking simulator games where the object of the game is to be a trucker and you get caught in a traffic jam and that's you playing?
I'm gonna be real. I never have seen the appeal of these games. I don't understand why I would want to do something that is very boring and that you can do in real life, like, and monetize. Like, you can make money doing that. So why would you? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm not getting the point.
A video game where you're a trucker caught in a traffic jam. Somebody calls up to you like, hey, we're gonna go to dinner, and you're like, no, I'm in a traffic jam. Yeah, have you ever gotten caught in a traffic jam driving across the country for real? Like, you're making good progress, you're getting nearer to the destination, and then you stop for 2 hours because some dope pulled off of the exit ramp trying to do a barrel roll or some crap. It's always something stupid that happened too. Like, do you want to get to where you're going? I understand accidents happen and that causes a lot of traffic jams, but a lot of the time it's not an accident, it's just some dumb. And now you can
I don't know, like, I feel like that's just his take. Obviously, there's probably more real accidents than there are, like, people just being stupid. That being said, people are very, 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 very fucking stupid. So,
experience that in a video game, driving a huge vehicle with significantly less mobility than your average vehicle. How fun. And number 9, when people do Microsoft Flight Simulator flights without skipping the boring parts, when they literally just do like 13-hour flights to Osaka or some crap. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna go to Moscow.
I can't imagine doing some shit like that. That's insane.
18 hours of my day doing that.
You got me fucked up.
Office. It's like all of the elements that aren't great about flying, like the waiting parts, without any of the actual travel. And that's not to take a dump on Flight Simulator. It's a fun game. It's accurate. It certainly is amazing looking. But I can't imagine spending that kind of time not actually flying.
Not never.
Or whatever. Like, they added those skip mechanics so you're not stuck doing it. Like, I understand like a marathon stream of doing something like that, maybe for a fundraiser. I feel like that would leave a lot of easy time for talking. I'm sure Flight Simulator is probably good for that, but if you're not doing something that obligates you to that endurance, that seems like the most dull and yet stressful.
The Hank Hill GIF is a classic.
Pay attention to it for like 13 hours. Things you could do. Ugh, why? I mean, that's even worse than the traffic jam by a lot. And number 8, killing optional bosses in the Soulsborne games. We're going to focus specifically on the Headless from Sekiro. These are ridiculous, stressful bosses with weird conditions you have to deal with, like magic.
Speaking as a guy who has like literally killed absolutely every single boss in Elden Ring that exists, like, yeah, I mean, that's legit. Like, something compels you to do so, and most of the time it is not worth it, and it has no real value, even to the game. You're just doing something so that you can be like, I did it. And that's dope, actually. I mean, that's kind of cool.
fog that messes up your ability to maneuver. You have weird timing with your attacks. And like the only reason you would want to do this is because each of these bosses drops a spirit fall, which is basically a version of the sugars you use to heal or boost attributes. You can just continuously use it, which is great, but these are incredibly tough battles, and 2 of them are underwater. And actually the underwater ones have their own reasons that they're less painful than the others. But they also have the underwater thing, like just maneuvering underwater is much worse. The whole thing is so tedious.
Pretty much any underwater level, I'm just not trying to do it. Like, period. Like, if it's underwater, no.
Difficult and stressful. By the time you're done fighting one of these things, you're like breathing hard. And number 7, if you're really looking to stress yourself out for fun, you can play Elite Dangerous and go rescue people at the edge of known space, which is an incredibly time-intensive, resource-intensive, and patience-intensive undertaking. There are people who actually put together teams that just do this. That's the way they play the game. And I can't imagine doing that because so much going on in the game. But people will fly out to the edge of the galaxy and run out of fuel because they're just doing something like that. And then these large search parties will form, plan, and rescue people. It's cool on some level.
Human beings and gamers are capable of so much, and this is so ridiculous that you would take this small thing and save other gamers from like a distant, like that's really cool. I don't know if anybody else sees it that way, but I think that's freaking excellent.
Ridiculous on others. If indeed this were real life, I could understand some kind of search party and rescuing people at the edge of the galaxy, but it's not. I don't want to be stuck in traffic. I don't want to fly for 13 hours in virtual space. And number 6 is playing good horror games in VR. Like, for instance, playing Alien Isolation in VR is easily the best way to do it. Simultaneously, it is easily the most frightening way to.
Admittedly, I have never played VR, and I like so want to, but I cannot justify spending the money to get the tools for it. I can't justify it. I can't, I mean, if it is as cool as people say it is, then I will be disappointed in myself for not getting it. But like, everything is expensive, man.
To do it, you will be 100% on edge the whole time because the atmosphere is so good in that game. Similarly, there's the Impatient, the Forest, and Until Dawn rush.
Everybody and their mom that I know is playing the Forest, and I really need to start playing it. Like, seriously, like if you play the Forest, hit the comment section, tell me why I need to play it.
Of blood, but probably the best is Resident Evil 7. I mean, Resident Evil 7 is a great game with an incredible atmosphere anyways, but in VR, it's really a tour de force. Resident Evil 7 is this game that just does an incredible job of establishing itself as something totally new and different for the franchise, and then gradually crawling its way back to everything that Resident Evil is about. And actually being inside that environment, or at least virtually as close to it as is possible, is actually a really good experience if you don't mind how incredibly stressful it is, because I mean the atmosphere in that game creates stress like very few others.
Well, that game is like meant to be stressful. It's a
now,
game built to be stressful. That's weird.
A quick way to get through a game that
Nope.
you kind of experience the most intense aspects of the game in rapid succession. That's really not why speedrunning a game is.
Honestly, speedrunners are the best gamers in the world. Like, I don't understand how they can do the things that they can do. I've tried speedrunning games. I do not have the patience that you literally have to dedicate yourself to just one thing forever.
It's stressful. It's stressful because it's a repetitive exercise that you have to learn the game. The game stops being like a story or a narrative or a set of puzzles or whatever, and starts being a sequence that you have to learn in muscle memory. I don't know if you've ever watched somebody like speedrun Super Mario Brothers. I don't take Super Mario Brothers particularly seriously. When I go back to it and play it, I think, what a neat thing they came up with decades ago. Speedrunners look at it as a set of pixels, a set of physics rules, arrangements of items, and while watching somebody speedrun like Super Mario Brothers is really impressive, actually doing it is an incredibly disciplined, sequential set of actions that is very difficult and stressful, particularly if you mess up. And that goes
Golden Eye speedruns.
It's not just Super Mario Brothers.
Golden Eye speedruns are crazy because like they're so easy to mess up. Like, and RNG will screw you so often that it's just like, why do this? Like I agree. This is one of the most stressful games you could ever like speedrun because like it literally will just screw you just because it's insane.
Obviously. At number 4, we're getting into some more like really specific challenges. This one I think is interesting. I mean, it fits into a general category of like challenge runs of specific games, but the one we're talking about here is Pokemon Nuzlocke. I don't know why it's called that, but the specific challenge is that if a Pokemon faints or gets knocked out, it's considered dead or unusable from that point forward in the run, and you cannot use it again. That is part of the challenge. If you can get through the game where every single time you lose a Pokemon, that
if anybody watches this and knows why it's called Nuzlocke, please hit it up in the comments. I've never known. I know what Nuzlocke is. I like know what the challenge is, but I've never known what the hell that means or where it came from.
That's it for that Pokemon. It makes the game a lot harder. Now, arguably, to some people, it's more fun. The challenge itself is a lot more fun. But here's the thing. Given that somebody who had played Pokemon before basically gets used to the idea that a Pokemon isn't ever dead, they're just knocked out, it's essentially changing one of the most fundamental elements of the game, which can introduce a certain type of stress. Not only the whole changing of a rule that seems fundamental,
Is it just me, or was that Jeff looking like he was being pleasured? I'm just saying.
Mental in the game, but also in difficulty level. At number 3, modding Skyrim. I could probably not say another word in this point, and everyone would know exactly what I mean, but for the sake of clarity, let's say you got hundreds of mods, and you want to use all of them on Skyrim. Well, that's going to be a bit of a task on account a lot of mods have bugs. They might make the game crash, they might be difficult to install, they might corrupt things, and then let's assume that you're good at installing mods and not having them bug out on their own. They also interact with each other in unpredictable ways sometimes, causing crashes and bugs that way. And because of that, a lot of people spend all of their time trying to mod Skyrim rather than playing the game with or without the mods.
I don't understand this idea. I don't get it. Why would you just not use what you could, and that way you could at least get the experience of playing the game? I mean, maybe if you're trying to sell the mod, but that's like kind of ick anyways, at least in my opinion.
Now, I do understand there is a certain satisfaction with correctly installing all of the mods you want to and
I
having
guess.
it work. One, you can get Skyrim looking pretty amazing. But two,
True.
You feel like you outsmarted the machine in some way. So I get it, but it's very stressful still.
I mean,
And
I
number
don't
two,
get it.
Always playing games on their hardest difficulty. Like, for instance, in Halo, you decide that you're going to play Legendary with all
This
the
guy.
spells turned on, or Call of Duty in Veteran mode, or Realistic mode, or whatever. And I get it. A lot of people like the challenge, and a lot of games provide a fair challenge at their highest difficulty levels, but a lot of them just kind of become unfair. Now, ironically enough, that makes them more satisfying to defeat in a harder difficulty. The less fair they are, the better you are at it, the cooler it looks. But still, a lot of the time when I'm playing a game, especially on my own free time, I kind of just want...
Yo, that's why I like Souls-like games. Like, literally they just the Souls games like you start on hard as fuck mode. You know what I'm saying? You just start on this game is hard mode, and then you just gotta fucking grind until you know you're dope. Like the game is just fucking hard. That's all there is to it. I like that concept of like, no, you get good at the game. You don't get to like get babied. You have to like play it to get good at it. And you know, you might not get anywhere for a very long time. You know, that's okay. Of course, you know, that's not for everybody, but it certainly is for me.
Want to progress rather than fight as hard as I can to progress. And finally, at number 1, leading a guild
Wimp.
in an MMO. Now, it basically is all of the challenges of becoming a politician.
Not the biggest MMO guy, I'm not gonna lie. Kind of mad that the last number is gonna be this.
Your position is in a virtual world, and people, if they don't like you, can just quit and do something else.
Fair.
Ignore you, or even block you. Doesn't work like that when you're elected mayor, I guess. But that's how it is. You're basically accountable to all the same types of decisions that an executive branch politician might be when holding a position. Or you could really go for it and do this in like EVE Online, like start a corporation in EVE Online. Although there are actually real world perks for that.
You know, this I could get into. I that idea, I don't know about doing it myself, but I could see why people would want to do it. Like you're actually legitimately role playing a position as opposed to just playing out the story of someone else. You're legitimately performing that position. So I could see where you would do that. Like you get the feel of actually being a mayor or being the guy in charge. And that's actually kind of cool.
Like EVE Online can transfer to real world wealth, which is truly an insane thing to say. That's all for today. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think.
So I guess that was it. Yeah. Me personally, that was a pretty good list. A lot of those things were incredibly stressful, and a lot of them I'm all about. So yeah, thumbs up to the Game Ranks list. Good job, Game Ranks. Link will be in the description for the original video. I am Freddie Swyft, and I appreciate you, my winners and losers. I hope you will come back. Either way, I'll leave you with peace and much love.